just let's review really quick here. How can I solve, raise your hand, how can I solve this equation? Right.
Wouldn't it be what multiplies into 4 and what adds up to 3? So we have to put x in the parentheses and
Yeah, factor.
so it'd be negative 4 and minus 1 or plus 1.
And then the answers would be, what makes this 0? Or this 0?
Positive 4, negative 1.
Okay.
So what goes
Okay,
into
boys.
4? What goes into 4 that adds up to 3?
Yeah, that's how you factor 3 terms. Boys, I will move you. Let's see, what was that? Oh yeah, you have to be able to do 3 term, square minus a square, take stuff out. It seems like no matter how many times we go over that, we just can't remember it. But anyway, we need to know all those. Yesterday we did, let's see, let's do. We did this.
Yeah.
Now,
Would you do minus 12 right there?
yeah, I probably should change it to a minus 12. Alright, so how would we solve this?
Plus 12.
X
Yeah.
equals
Now-
positive or negative 2.
Okay, you could factor this by taking something out and then doing a square minus a square. But if it just has an x squared, you can just get x squared by itself. So add 12,
And then divide by 3.
yeah, divide by 3,
So you're going to be 2.
And then you do the x
square root,
plus or minus 2.
plus minus 2, right? Because what is negative 2 squared? Positive 4. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. So yeah, that's what we did yesterday. If it's just an x squared, now we could not have done that on this one because there's an x squared and an x, so it doesn't work. But okay, now Carter, what do we do if it doesn't factor?
Negative.
Oh,
Okay. It doesn't. This one won't factor unless I made a mistake. Let me make sure it doesn't factor. Yeah, it doesn't factor. Yeah.
Do you subtract the x?
Track the x's? No. This is new. I haven't done it yet. So. It turns out, well, there's this trick that somebody figured out. Now, by the way, this method works on problems that do factor also. So if you're bad at factoring, you can use this. If you can factor and you know how, it's easier to factor. But if you can't, or if it doesn't at all, this one doesn't factor, then you can use this trick. It's called the quadratic formula.
Wow.
Wow! What did quadratic mean?
Multiple.
4.
No.
4.
Quad can mean 4, but
Quads.
a quadratic equation is an equation with, that's ugly too, with an x squared in it. Okay, so this will help you solve quadratic equations.
Think.
There's a song to go with this, but I don't want to sing it.
No. Yes. No, you're gonna sing
Maybe I'll YouTube it at the end.
Get the guitar and
Get the guitar.
gather around the campfire, children.
Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a.
I'll tell.
That's it. Okay,
That's simple.
now, negative b plus or minus the square root. Here's the tune is Pop Goes the Weasel. Negative b, okay.
Negative b plus.
No,
I'll
it
say
starts,
for
it
negative.
starts with this. It starts with this. X is equal to negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
That was incredible.
Half.
Wow.
Nobody getting on video?
It's like a one-hit one.
Nobody?
Okay, anyways, what do A, B, and C stand for?
B.
Shh. Okay, A is the coefficient for the x squared term, B is the coefficient for the x term, and C is the constant. Okay, notice I underlined the minus on this one. So if I was to solve this using quadratic formula, I would use 5 for A, -7 for B, and 4 for C. And you just plug it in, and then whatever pops out is the answer.
Does it always go
Now-
Does it always go A, B,
Okay.
C?
Well, kind of. If they put it in order, yes, it's always A, B, and C. But what if the x squared's over here? Well, you gotta fix it and put it in the right order. So, for example, if they had written this,
Yeah.
the A value, these are the same thing. The A value is still +5. Okay? It's just, if it's not in the right order, you gotta fix it and make it in the right order. Anyway, these are the same thing. How many answers does this represent?
A few.
2. Why 2?
Positive and negative.
Right. 1 for the plus, 1 for the minus. Okay? If it would have factored, guys, if it would have factored, this will work out nicely. Like, it'll come out, the square root will come out nicely. Put it that way. If it doesn't factor, like my example here, the square root is going to be, it'll stay as square root. It'll be like square root of 17 or something weird. So if it doesn't factor, you'll get some, I don't want to do it yet, but you might get something like this. Okay, and you can't do anything with that. You can turn it into a decimal, but it's not really any simpler. So usually we just leave the answer like that. That represents 2 numbers. You could turn it into 2 decimal numbers, but yeah. All right.
Do
Now,
I have to show our work on this?
yeah, you definitely have to show your work on this one. 1 through 6, there's no work to do, but the rest of them you do. Okay, number 1. Everybody got ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay. State the values of A, B, and C.
X squared.
Okay, number 1. What is the A value?
X squared.
No.
1.
1.
What?
Number 1, the A value is 1. Where did you get that from? Okay, Will, where'd you get?
There's a one from.
Because there's a 1 in front of that.
There's an invisible 1 in front of X squared. Okay, so put A equals 1. What's the B value? 6. C, 5. So it's just A equals 1, B equals 6 equals 5. Okay, 3 is trying to trick us a little bit. On 3, what is the A value? 1. What's the B value? 5. What's the C value?
-6.
Okay, 1. Somebody is right.
Positive 0 is after plus it.
Right. It's not written in standard form. Like, it's not set equal to 0. So we should add the 6 over like this, either in our heads or on paper. So now that it's in standard form, you can see it's 1, 5, and 6.
It was me that got it right.
Trace has it too.
All right.
Me.
Number 5. What is the? Here's another trick question. What is the A value?
1.
1. A value is 1. What is the B value?
Nothing.
0. You guys know how she got that?
Because there is no.
There is no Y, or there is no W term. So that's like a 0W. There's no, it doesn't say W squared plus 2W. It doesn't say W at all. So that would be like W squared plus 0W. So there is no, A is 1, B is 0. C is -6. You guys think you can figure 6 out?
No.
You can, well, you can try it, and then you have to subtract the 7Z over, right? It's kind of like number 5.
So that means C is 0.
Okay, number 7, use quadratic formula to solve. Now, on 7 through 16, these are actually all factorable. But we're going to kind of use them as a warm-up to the harder problems. You do have to show your work. Is everybody listening? If I see just the answer, I'm not going to give you credit, even on the odds. Even on the odds.
Yikes. Never mind.
Okay, so on number 7, what's my A, B, and C?
Negative, I mean 1,
1, 6, and 8, right? Okay, all we have to do is plug it in. Negative B, plus or minus. I'm just saying this out loud.
Oh,
This is
B.
what I'm doing. Plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times A times C. All over 2 times A. 2 times 1. Okay. As we get better at this, we can kind of skip some of these steps. Like instead of writing down 6 squared, what could I could have just written 36. Instead of writing 4 times 1 times 8, 32. What is 36 minus 32?
4,
4.
so it's 2,
So it's negative 6 plus or minus square root of 4 over 2. Square root of 4 is actually
2,
2. Can I simplify this more? Yeah. Because what's negative? No, we can't do that. It's not 2 divided by 2, it's 2 divided by all this. But negative 6 plus 2,
Negative 3 plus 1.
negative 6 plus 2,
A.
negative 4, divided by 2, negative 2. Or negative 6 minus 2,
Negative 4.
negative 8, divided by 2, negative 4. I guess I'll put X equals up there. There we go. If it comes out like that, it tells you we could have factored it to like X plus 2, X plus 4, right? But we have to practice quadratic formula for the harder ones. Actually, in some ways, the harder ones are easier because you can't simplify the square root. Just kind of leave it alone. All right, number 9. What's my A, B, and C?
A is 1.
1,
A.
8,
C is 1, 2.
15. Okay, this is 9.
This sounds like a 1 through 16 assignment.
Okay, negative B, negative 8, plus or minus square root of B squared. I'm going to do that in my head. What's B squared? Minus 4AC. All over 2A, which is 2. Okay, this is always kind of the messy part right here. 4 times 15 is
60.
64 minus 60.
4.
4. Square root of 4 is 2. So it's negative 8 plus or minus 2 over 2. Like exactly the same thing as the last problem.
Hey, Mr. Jordan,
Not quite, but close.
if we wrote the last part like negative 8 plus 2 or minus 2 over 2, would you count that as showing your work? Or do you have to show the bigger?
This is the important part up here.
Okay.
This is too far. You don't have to show every single step, but I need to see something. Okay, negative 8 plus 2. Negative 6 divided by 2. Negative 8 minus 2 divided by 2. Okay, on number 11, we're going to use quadratic formula, but there's actually 2 much easier ways to solve 11. What's one of the easy ways to solve 11?
0 less 9.
You add the 9 over and then what?
8.
Square root.
A equals
Or you can factor it. It's a square minus a square. A plus 3, A minus 3. But we're doing it the hard way. What's my A, B, and C?
Carter, what'd you do? I'm the
That's the first time that has ever happened.
police
You
are
accidentally
after you.
dialed 911.
If you, yeah, cause like if you,
This is why the police are after me.
Yeah. What'd you do?
I'm okay, I don't need,
And I will give you up at the drop of a hat, by the way.
oh.
Yes. Carter, run. Guys, he's in here.
Carter Wells is in here. Is there a bounty? Okay.
Is there money
I'm going out the
involved?
window.
What's my A, B, and C?
Don't tell
I
us.
said damage to you diving through the window. Okay.
They're after me.
This better be the right amount.
Alright, we gotta get this done. On number 11, what's my A value?
1.
1. It's kind kind of confusing because there's a variable a. What's my b value?
Zero.
Zero, good. What's my c value?
Plus 9.
Minus
Minus 9.
Dang.
Okay, so negative b is negative 0. So we could put 0 or you could skip that part. Plus or minus. B squared is another 0, right? Minus 4ac over 2a. A lot of times a is 1, so a lot of times the bottom is 2. Not always, but. So these zeros are going to make it easier.
0, 0. It's all
So
zero.
this is kind of like negative 4, that doesn't do anything, times negative 9.
Negative 36.
36, no, it's not negative.
30.
It's like negative 4 times negative 9 is positive 36. Square root of 36, square root of 6. So it's plus or minus 6
It is 6.
over 2, which is
3 and negative 3.
plus or minus 3.
Wow.
Which we kind of already knew that at the
Yeah.
beginning, right? But we had to do it the hard way.
Well, why?
What? All I'm doing, Carter, is plugging numbers
Or
in.
just randomly happen.
And it's all just plugging stuff in.
Your calculator probably
Hard to
doesn't
think.
plus or minus can.
If you know how to do.
Well, you can do it one thing at a time. You can't do it at the same time.
Hard just random.
If you plug in your calculator 6 over 2, that's one answer. You plug in negative 6 over 2, that's it. Right?
I mean, like,
It can't do it all at once. No, okay, number 13. What's my A, B, and C?
1, 1, 3.
No.
2.
2. What else?
2, 0.
No.
Negative 1.
Negative 1. Negative 3. Right?
Yes.
2, negative 1, negative 3. So, what is negative B going to be?
1.
Positive 1. Plus or minus? Square root. Okay, this is where our calculators
Calculate.
might fail us. So is everybody paying attention? I want a bunch of wrong answers because of this.
Okay.
When it says b squared, it means all of this
Yes.
squared. If I plug this in my calculator, what will it give me?
Negative.
Negative 1. Because it squares the 1 and then it adds a negative. But what we really want to do is square all of negative 1. So this should be a positive 1.
Woo! Yeah.
Minus 4ac over 2a. So I got something besides 2 on the bottom this time.
Yeah, 4.
4 on the bottom.
Oh, so also on our calculator, we're gonna have to put the negative 3 in parentheses.
Well, no, it's another way of saying times, right? So if I was doing this without a calculator, I would think of this as negative 4 times 2 times negative 3. Negative 4 times 2 is 8 times 3
And negative
is 24. But a negative and a negative make a positive. Shh. So this is really 1 plus 24. Now if you plug this stuff in your
So
calculator,
that should be
you-
5. It'd be 5.
so this, yeah, it's 25, square root of 25 is 5, so it's 1 plus or minus 5 over 4.
1 plus or minus 1 over 4. Got it.
Okay, what's 1 plus 5? 6 over 4?
3 over 2.
3 over 2.
3 over 2.
1 and 1.
1 minus 5?
4. Negative 4.
Negative 4 over 4?
Negative 1.
Negative 1.
So if you put that in your calculator, how would you do it? Like plus or minus?
You can't do the plus minus. Just
Just do different equations. Just do
Yeah,
1.
you do
Okay,
just two different-
my advice is
Do 1
just
plus 5 over 4.
plug
1
this.
minus 5.
Yeah, I believe we can do that.
My advice is plug that in the calculator and then just do this.
I feel like it's easiest to do it. Unless you want to.
I think that's the easiest. You could do it all at once, but you'd have to do it twice. Remember, maybe you know this. On your calculator, if you just hit the up button or the back button, you can
Yeah.
usually
Yeah.
like arrow over and change this to a plus.
You didn't know
Always.
Mr. Jordan? Since forever.
Maybe.
We should go to 20s. Forever.
Kind of good.
We got to get to the hard ones. All right, 15,
9 plus
Okay.
2.
and they're not really that hard. What's my A, B, and C on 15?
Ta-da!
1, negative 6, negative 9.
Okay, It's 1, negative
Oh,
6, and positive 9 because the 9's on the wrong side. Alright, so negative b is positive 6. Plus or minus square root of, what's b squared?
36.
36. Minus 4 ac. When a is 1, that doesn't really do anything when you multiply by 1, so you can kind of skip it.
Oh, it's lagging.
When you multiply by 1,
Would
it
that be
doesn't
0?
do
When we do
anything.
order operations in the box, that'd be 0.
Yeah, that'll be 0. 4 times 9 is 36. That's going to be 0. 2a would be 2 on this one. Okay, so if you get a 0, what's the square root of 0?
0.
0.
Yeah.
What is 6 plus 0
6.
over 2?
3 over 2.
What's 6 minus 0 over 2? What's 6 minus 0?
This is a
Negative 6.
Stupid.
Wait,
6.
6. Oh, what am I?
Oh,
Yeah,
6
6
minus
minus 3.
Okay, so 3 is the answer to both. There's only one answer on this.
There's no positive
That's
one.
so confusing.
That was confusing.
I got it right.
Wait, Mr. Jordan?
I said 6 plus 0 over 2, 6 minus 0 over 2. What?
Why is it not 3 over 2?
6 plus 0
Is 6.
6 over 2. 6 divided by 2.
Oh.
6 plus 0 is 6. Divided by 2 is 3.
Idiot.
Our
I'm
arithmetic
trying.
skills are lacking. Number 17. Okay, what's my A on 17? What's my ABC? What's my ABC on 17?
Negative 2, b is negative 9,
Okay, negative b is positive 9. Plus or not minus square root of b squared, which will be what?
81.
81. 9 squared is 81. The negative gets squared away. Minus 4ac
Whoa.
over 2a. Okay, what does that come out to in the square root? 4 times 2 is 8, times 4 is 32, 81 minus 32 is
Negative
49.
32.
What's the square root of 49?
Oh, you're right.
7. 9 plus or minus 7 over 4. What is 9 plus 7?
16. So
Divided by 4. What is 9 minus 7?
Half.
2 over 4? 1 half.
Which one of you dummies in food for? One half.
Okay, 19. We're finally to a weird one. We made it.
What? Want to
Wait, what? Those weren't the weird ones.
Okay, Carter, what's my A, B, and C on 19?
the noise.
A is 2,
I do it from what?
Shh.
B is negative 5,
Yep,
C is 1.
C is positive 1, right, good. Alright, negative B is positive 5. Plus or minus square root of, what's B squared? 25 minus 4AC
Oh,
over 2A. Alright. So I'm going to look at the square. The square root's the mess, so let's start with the mess. 4 times 2 is 8. 25 minus 8, 17. What's the square root of 17? Nothing pretty, right? So can we simplify it though? Is there like a double that goes into
No.
17? No. No. So can I simplify this?
No.
No.
So is it just stuck as that?
So that is our final
Whoa.
answers.
That's awesome. I like that a lot.
So actually when it gets messier, it kind of gets easier because you don't have to simplify
Made
it.
me happy, made me smile.
This does put a smile.
You do have to be very careful because there's a lot of mistakes you can make in here. Lots of places we could go wrong. 21. Okay, Lydia, what's my, I'm giving you a hard one. What's my A, B, and C on 21?
It's 3, okay.
Yep.
0,
Yep.
7,
Close.
negative
7's on the wrong side, so it's negative 7. Alright. So, you guys remember what happened when we had a 0 on the B last time? It's 0
0.
plus or minus square root of 0 squared minus 4ac over 2a.
21 times, negative 21 times 4
Okay.
is 88. Read, it's 48.
4 times 3 is 12 times 7 is 84. So see how there's two negatives right there? That's like a positive 84.
Yeah. I see.
Does the square root of 84 simplify?
No, not prettily.
Yeah, it does.
Yes, it does.
Okay, not completely.
Behind me.
Sam,
84 is 4 times
2
21.
squared 21.
So it is, yeah, it is 2 square root of 21. So
Give it a minute. It's lagging.
Yep. 2
Just
squared.
got 60 ping, bro.
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 what was it over?
6.
Oh yeah, 6. There it is. Okay. Do I need the 0 there?
Ow.
No. Can I simplify this, Indy?
1 and 3.
Yes, you can. That is correct. Okay, pause. Everybody pay attention just for a second. If there had been like a 4 right there, okay, you have to divide, it has to divide out of everything. I could divide everything by 2 in this case.
What about
Okay.
the 21?
No, just the normal numbers
But are
divide.
we
Remember,
supposed to-
normal numbers divide, not normal numbers and square roots. Just normal numbers, square root. So yeah, the 2 and the 6 reduce. I don't really need a 1 up
1
here
and 3.
to a 3. So it's plus or minus square root of 21 over 3.
So it's
Yep.
Plus or minus square root of 21 thirds.
Hooray! Is that it?
Are we on 24?
Are we brain dead or something?
No, like, problem. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're done with the problem.
Better do something.
23. We're almost on 24. All right. A, B, and C. 2, negative 5, negative 10. So negative B is positive 5 plus or minus square root
Just put 25.
B squared minus 4AC over 2A. Okay, so when I do these, I always start with the times right here. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8, times negative 10 is positive 80,
Yes.
plus 25, well, 25 plus 80 is 105. Does that simplify?
No.
Yeah.
Let's do a little. Has somebody already done it?
5.5.
Okay, 5 and 21, 3 and 7. Does that simplify? No. So we get to leave it as 105.
Yo. It's T-dog.
So it's 5 plus or minus square root of 105 over 4. That's all we can do.
Hey, we're done.
That's all, folks.
Well,
No, don't screw my house.
Shush.
Yeah.
I'm done.
You still got to shut up, Trey. I didn't
You
ask
guys
you.
have 10 minutes, 8th graders have 10 minutes.
Wow. How about we really did us dirty with this one?
Well, I actually had to teach in front of this lesson.